After that, Elizabeth asks if there's anything she can help them with as she stands up. Leping questions whether she's willing to act on her own, to which the queen responds that of course she is, since she has much to learn from him. She thinks he's probably upset because she decided to help Miss Pixius on her own, and she notices he looks a bit surprised. The girl in question thanks them both and reflects that she can't understand what they're thinking. She confesses to herself that she had never heard of the hero and the demon queen, so she isn't sure how powerful they really are. It's then that Leping asks what the plan is to destroy the Minister of Technology's conspiracy, and if she has any good ideas, as they're willing to help her in any way they can. At the same time, he thinks they must find a way to make up for the situation, because if he ruins Elizabeth's mood, no one will come out unscathed. The princess explains that the original plan was to cut off the kingdom's resources to force them out, but now that she has more allies, she believes this time they will strike first. She then begins detailing her strategy. First, they will enter the kingdom disguised as escorts for a shipment of minerals. Since they all now have a human appearance, they will be able to evade the mechanical inspection at the border. Once inside the kingdom, they will remain hidden in the residence until nightfall, then proceed with the infiltration. Along the way, they must avoid the steam soldiers, since the target is located in the sewer beneath Central Street 3. They enter silently until they reach the stairs and descend them. She adds that she has studied the kingdom's canal system design, which is connected to the interior of the royal city. She remembers every detail with perfect clarity, so there's no reason to worry about getting lost. Then, they'll have to travel 5 kilometers through that path to find an abandoned and sealed entrance. Once there, if they manage to force it open, they'll gain access to the heart of the kingdom, the Aristotle's magic steam room. She clarifies that this device was invented by her ancestor Aristotle and is still operational, supplying basic energy to the entire kingdom. For that reason, she considers it unfortunate to have to destroy it to cut off the Minister of Technology's energy supply. However, once someone enters the system's core, the defense mechanisms will be immediately triggered. All passages will be sealed, and a large number of steam soldiers will arrive within 10 minutes. That means they'll only have that brief window to act. They'll need at least 4 people to stay behind and place the special explosives she herself developed. Therefore, those who take part in this phase must be ready to give their lives. The explosives must be ignited from a minimum distance, which will inevitably result in the death of whoever does it. At that precise moment, the destruction of the magic steam engine will create massive chaos and distract the Minister of Technology. That will be when she has the device ready to invade the castle's brain. The entire royal city is a complex machine powered by magic steam. If the rebel conversion device is inserted into the castle's operating system, it will alter the flow of the magic steam, causing a repulsion reaction among several mechanical parts. This will trigger a domino effect that will collapse the entire massive structure. This is because, without the magic steam engine, the Minister of Technology will no longer be able to create the castle giants. And without them, the minister's plan to conquer the world will also completely fail. She adds that for the revolution, they do not fear death, but begs them to, if possible, bring her companions back to life and save her father and mother. She knows that both science and magic obey the law of equivalent exchange, and that's why she's willing to give her whole life in return for what she's asking. But her pirate companions immediately object. They ask what she's saying and remind her that, more than anyone, she must live, because the kingdom needs her leadership. They also state that they will sacrifice themselves willingly for her. They ask her not to underestimate them and remind her that she was the one who saved their lives, so her sacrifice would not be fair. However, the princess demands silence. She explains that since all this began because of her, it must also end by her hand. Elizabeth, hearing her, smiles and confesses she has no problem sharing her life with the others. She then asks Leping what he thinks about it. The hero is left speechless, but the princess interrupts him and asks whether he has doubts, and if a single life like hers is not enough. To that, Leping firmly replies no. He also asks her to discard that absurd idea once and for all. The princess calmly nods, saying she understands. But then, the hero says that there is a better solution to all of this. Surprised, she asks what it is. Leping explains that at first he thought the same as her, that just as it all started with him, it should also end with him. That's why he embarked on the so-called hero's adventure. He had made a promise to Elizabeth. This time, he would unite everyone to maintain peace in the world. However, he now realizes that it only delayed their plan and caused unnecessary sacrifices. He reflects that the pirates have already given their lives for peace, and it's time to put an end to that absurd agreement. He then looks at his queen and asks her to act, to solve the problem of the kingdom of Aristotle, because they can't keep waiting. Upon hearing him, Elizabeth also reflects on those words, "can't keep waiting." And she responds with determination that she will do so immediately. She confesses to herself that she too can't wait any longer and declares that she'll go right now to fix the problem at its root. She thinks that once everything is over, it'll be a world just for her and Leping, and the sooner it happens, the better. Meanwhile, in the laboratory of the kingdom of Aristotle, the technicians and automatons begin producing multiple dark gears. The Minister of Technology watches enthusiastically and states that progress is even better than expected. In just one day, the machine has produced a mountain of gears. He also reports they've generated nearly 5,000 dark gears and that the energy conversion rate of the lightning fairy far exceeds that of conventional magic. He admits he'd love to have more time to study the lightning fairy. However, it will no longer be necessary to wait a month, as tomorrow they will be able to activate and mobilize the royal war giant to lay waste to the hero's continent. He reveals that the fairy is using an infinite discharge, providing unlimited energy. The dark being beside him reflects in awe. He didn't expect the leader of the Dark Guild to have such a useful woman at his side. He thinks that, with her, in just one more day, they'll be able to open the portal to the Dark Sea in this world, and thus unleash chaos. He longs for that moment with impatience, certain that it will make both the hero and the demon queen pay a high price for their arrogance toward his lord, Azathoth. But then, the small dark being is suddenly transported elsewhere, and right in front of him stands the demon queen. Without wasting a second, she raises her foot and crushes him mercilessly. Many thanks to the channel members, Raphaeltron, Sweetie, and Ankit Gameplay for their valuable support to this project. That said, see you in the next video.